Ever since Project Hail Mary, I've been chasing that same feeling of hope and wonder, so here are my top 10 hopecore movie recommendations. Number 1. The Intouchables. This is a French comedy drama from 2011 based on a true story. After a paragliding accident leaves a wealthy aristocrat quadriplegic, he hires a former prisoner to assist and care for him. Despite their vastly different backgrounds, the two gradually form an unexpected and meaningful bond. Outstanding acting, this film goes beyond prejudice and ableism. Disability is seen under a new light because this movie is funny but thoughtful. You may shed a few tears. And if you're looking for a beautiful friendship on screen, I highly recommend this. And if you're skeptical of French movies in general, this is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. Number 2. The Wild Robot. This is a 2024 animated sci-fi family movie based on the 2016 novel of the same name. After being stranded on a deserted island following a shipwreck, an intelligent robot struggles to survive in the wild. While adapting to the harsh environment, it forms bonds with the local animals and becomes the guardian of an orphaned gosling. This movie is adorable and emotional, meant for the whole family with its beautiful animation and bright colors, which gives us hope for DreamWorks in general. The story's simplicity is refreshing and relationships are gently explored. I must admit that when the movie came out, I wasn't too impressed compared to other people who saw this as revolutionary, but there's a reason for that. It's because I was all too familiar with an Italian animated film, in English called Lucky and Zorba, which follows similar key plot points, and this is based on Sepulveda's book. No robots in sight, but if you ever watch it, you'll get what I mean. It's a heartwarming film too, so I actually recommend both if you can find it. Number 3. Awakenings. This is a 1990 biographical drama based on the 1973 memoir of the same name. Years after an encephalitis epidemic left several patients trapped in catatonic states, a determined doctor experiments with a new treatment that could awaken them. Believing their condition resembles a severe form of Parkinson's disease, he fights for approval to use an experimental drug in hopes of bringing them back to life. Starring Robert De Niro and Robin Williams, the emotional storytelling will not leave you indifferent. The themes explored include ethics, hope, and pain. I have a thing for pioneer medical research and similar biopics, as you'll see in the next slot too, but I've been recommending multiple movies that have a similar plot, and this is just as good. If you're looking for a good old 90s movie, check it out. Number 4. Lorenzo's Oil. This is a 1992 biographical drama based on a true story. When their young son is diagnosed with a rare and fatal neurological disorder, a determined couple refuses to give up hope. Faced with little medical progress, they dedicate themselves to researching the illness and eventually help develop a treatment that rewrites medical history. The most impressive thing is that Lorenzo's Oil, to this day, is one of the 2 treatments for ALD, adrenoleukodystrophy. It's been well over 20 years since I last saw this film, but don't watch it if you're not ready to see a child suffer excruciating pain, because this is truly emotionally taxing. Number 5. The Help. This is a 2011 period drama based on the 2009 novel of the same name. During the civil rights era in 1960s Mississippi, a young aspiring writer begins documenting the experiences of black maids working for wealthy white families. As more women bravely share their stories of discrimination and daily struggles, their voices start to challenge the beliefs of their small southern community. This movie is smart and powerful. The performances are excellent. And prepare yourself for a roller coaster ride because you might cry right before cheering for the main characters and laugh out loud. Racism in the US in the 1960s was atrocious, and I'm thankful for movies like this. If only politicians watched and learned. A quick bonus section, because I have been recommending you multiple hopeful movies both recently and in older videos, but I also wanted to mention a documentary. So the documentary is Secrets of the Bees, which I just recently watched, and it gave me hope. I cannot tell you exactly why, other than that there is research, that we are doing something as a society to prevent the extinction of bees, and I can see tangible actions in a documentary like this one, for example, which I watched because I collaborate with fellow researchers in a project called Afro Bee Project. So I'm also learning everything I can about bees and beekeeping, but it truly made me feel hope at the end. Plus, the movies I was just mentioning, for example, Hidden Figures, but I also recommend Freedom Writers, The Truman Show, The Shawshank Redemption, and many more. But just as usual, I wanted to give you some more hidden recommendations along with more popular ones. Back to our list. Number 6, The Soloist. This is a 2009 biographical drama based on a true story. A struggling journalist encounters a homeless man with extraordinary musical talent and becomes determined to help him rebuild his life. What begins as a potential newspaper story gradually turns into a meaningful connection that profoundly impacts both of their lives. Starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. First, let me tell you a couple of negative points. The pacing was slightly off here and there, and the story made me think of the white savior complex. However, Jamie Foxx's performance was award-worthy, in my humble opinion. I may be biased because I love the actor. I really appreciate his work. Don't expect this film to provide a quick and easy solution to a societal issue. Rather, be prepared to be immersed in the reality of an ill, homeless man failed by society. Not sure how I missed this back then when it came out, but I'm happy that it randomly aired on Italian TV. Have you ever watched this one? Number 7, Still Magnolias. This is a 1989 comedy drama based on the 1987 play of the same name. A young beautician who has just arrived in a small Louisiana town begins working at a local salon where a close-knit group of women quickly welcomes her into their circle. As they navigate everyday life together, they share moments of joy alongside serious challenges, including a health scare within the group. Through both hardship and happiness, their friendships are strengthened and bring them even closer together. We have an ensemble cast here. This film revolves around friendship but also womanhood and all the struggles that come with it. It still holds up perfectly 30 years later, although the depiction of southern US may be stereotypical, but you tell me, since I'm not familiar with the reality of that region. I only read a couple of reviews mentioning this. This is a comfort film for many, but beware, you may cry or even ugly sob. Number 8, The Terminal. This is a 2004 comedy drama partially inspired by a true story. After a war erupts in his home country while he is traveling abroad, an Eastern European visitor becomes trapped inside JFK Airport due to immigration complications. Forced to live in the terminal indefinitely, he adapts to airport life and eventually forms a romantic connection with a flight attendant. I don't know how many times we watched this as kids. It's wholesome, though unrealistic. It doesn't fit a specific category, in my opinion, precisely because it has such a unique premise. I even enjoyed the simple fact that we could spend so much time inside an airport, observing the routines, etc. I was curious about airports before starting traveling myself, and I love movies around aviation and everything related to it. So maybe that played a role into my enjoyment. What did you think about The Terminal? Number 9, The King's Speech. This is a 2010 historical drama based on a true story. Following an unexpected rise to the throne in 1936, the new British monarch struggles with a severe stammer that undermines his ability to lead. To help him communicate with confidence, his wife enlists an unconventional speech therapist who uses unorthodox methods. Over time, the patient and therapist develop a strong bond as the king gradually learns to overcome his speech difficulties. Colin Firth and Geoffrey Rush gave us sublime performances. To be honest, the same goes for Helena Bonham Carter and the rest of the cast. I recently rewatched it and I was almost distracted by the stunning cinematography, the frames, the color scheme of each scene, the lighting, and we cannot forget the sharp dialogues and unconventional techniques adopted by the speech therapists, which were highly entertaining. This is just as inspiring as it is cinematic. One of my all-time favorite films. Number 10. Bend It Like Beckham. This is a 2002 sports comedy drama loosely based on a true story. A young woman dreams of becoming a professional football player, but her strict Sikh family expects her to focus on studies and an arranged marriage. When her talent is discovered by a local player, she is invited to join a women's team, giving her a chance to pursue the sport in secret. As she chases her passion, she struggles to balance family expectations, hidden matches, and growing feelings connected to her coach. I'm not into sports movies except when they focus on some other aspect I'm intrigued by. See, for example, Remember the Titans and Cool Runnings. Here, I thoroughly enjoyed the exploration of the Indian culture I was not familiar with back in 2002, not to mention the representation of a non-white female character as lead when I was a teenager, because that's when I first watched this one, and I think I even had the DVD, which is why I rewatched it countless times. Aside from personal reasons to enjoy this film, it's uplifting, not your usual rom-com, even though it does have a basic romantic subplot. And if you can get past the dated jokes or stereotypes, give this a go. Honestly, I had so many more recommendations that would fit this hopecore category, but let me know which ones are your hopeful movies. And if you haven't watched Project Hail Mary, that's the whole reason why I made this video, because that gave me hope in the first place. And then I thought about all the other ones that I had watched in the past. Let me know your recommendations down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.